Okay, so I just got back from the range and I was just about to start cleaning this. And I thought I'd take a video of kind of my latest and greatest project. So um, first, I guess, let's make sure the chamber's clear. There's not one in there. This is a Walther PDP Compact 9mm handgun. This is my go-to. It's my everyday carry. It's what I use when I'm, hunting or concealed carry. It's basically what I use for everything. This is paired with a TLR-8AG light laser combination, and it has a Trijicon RMR on it. It has some other things like a brass backstrap, a Springco recoil assembly. But the issue I have with pistols in general is finding a holster that works for my particular combination that is also left-handed. I am left-handed, and that really restricts the selection of holsters I have available to me, unless maybe I were to have one custom built, and that can get quite expensive. And it wouldn't be such an issue, but I find that I need a holster, for a bunch of different things. So usually, if you have a sidearm, there's a good chance that you have more than one holster for it. So I wanted to see if I could make my own. And it's really funny, actually, being left-handed. I have to deal with that every day, with things that are meant for right-handed people. And so all the airsoft rifles that I built them to be left-handed because I'm left-handed. So the furniture, like the lights and everything, are mounted on the opposite sides. And when I let people shoot those, it's so funny to watch them because it's just like so awkward for them to try to handle it, and they're trying to figure it out. And I'm like, imagine what that's like, but with everything, So if you're left-handed, you already know that. So I started trying to put together a holster that would fit this particular combination that would also be made for a left-hander. So this is my very first prototype. So after I took all the necessary measurements, so I had a couple objectives. One is to, obviously work for this pistol and light combination to be left-handed and to retain the firearm more so than like level 1 passive retention, right? So if you take a look at this is my outside the waistband holster for this particular pistol light combination. You can see that this only has these adjustable screws right here to adjust the tension, retention. And so when you holster this, if I were to turn this upside down, you can shake that out pretty easily. It's really nice though. You can get a nice draw, natural grip on it. So I wanted all of those same benefits, but I wanted more retention than just a couple screws that I could adjust, right? So I wanted it locked into place. So like if you were to use it as an outside the waistband holster, it would function sort of like a duty holster, where a lot of them that I've seen, they'll have like a hood that goes around the back of the slide, and you depress a lever and that hood flips forward, and then you can unholster the sidearm, reholster it, and then you would manually go and pull that hood back, and that prevents somebody from just coming up beside you and grabbing it and then jerking it out of your holster. So that's the kind of retention that I wanted also for the holster that I was basically just seeing if I could make for this, as I progress in my with my 3D modeling abilities. So anyway, this was so I'll just kind of go through these stages. I'll skip a bunch of them though, because there's been quite a few. So this was the very first print that I did for my test, right? For a test holster. So I was testing, for one, does it fit this combination, and does it provide some sort of retention? And the way I was trying to accomplish that was with these two tabs on the inside. What I wanted was those to fit between the rail and the light, or the top of the frame at the rail, and the light mounting point. So when the pistol is holstered, it would kind of cinch up in there and retain the pistol. So that's where this came in. So, and it does that. You can push it in there and it does retain it. This one was too tight, so I needed to adjust my tolerances, but otherwise it did retain it pretty well. So I moved on from that one. Oh, and then also can the camera pick that up? So this is when I also was taking measurements about where I needed to cut out along the holster so that it would work for being left-handed. So that's kind of where this mark is on the side. And eventually came out with this one. So I got it to where the retention was perfect for what I needed, the passive retention. And then I started adding things like this loop on this side. So this was a prototype for a very specific use case. This was for mounting on an e-bike. I go on a lot of long distance off-road treks on my e-bike, and I wanted something to be able to mount this instead of carrying it on my hip, and something that would retain it a little bit better. So this has a loop for a 1.5 inch gun belt on one side, and then it has a couple of hooks on this side, and that works with the other part of this mounting system that I made for the e-bike. But basically it has one mounting point here, and then it actually has a backup strap that comes around through this loop, because I never really like to rely on one point of safety. So it's kind of like cybersecurity, right? Layered defense. You have various layers. If one fails, you got a backup. So this works really well. So this is basically the final prototype before I actually printed the actual holster, and I actually already mounted that. So I'll get a video of that maybe later, but you get the idea here. So this holster has 2 levels of retention. It has passive retention from those 2 inner tabs, and then it also has this little lever here. And so this lever does the same sort of thing that hood that I was explaining. It does the same sort of thing that does. So when you holster this, it's actually locked in now. It cannot come out without extreme force applied to it. So that's what this lever does. So if you depress this lever, you can actually unholster it really easily. Holster it, it locks it into place, depress that, and it comes out very easily. So I'll try not to forget all of what I was thinking here. So the way this works is, let's talk about the position first. So the position of this lever, I positioned it to where my thumb naturally falls to it. So when I grab it to unholster, my thumb is over that lever. And when I push down, all my thumb is doing is going this way. It's going this way, right? So when my thumb pushes that way, it actually lifts this hood up, which has a couple of retention notches or tabs that are using the slide ejection port as the point of retention. So it lifts that up out of the way, and I can start to draw the sidearm. And if I had just made it this lever barely like at the tip of my thumb, right, then I would depress it and start to draw, but my thumb might slip off there and it might re-lock that pistol into place. So I would have to like grab it, press it, and then pull while I'm pushing with my thumb. Like it would just be really like an awkward draw, right? So that's why it's positioned here like it is when I grab this, I can just swipe down with my thumb as I'm drawing, and it moves it out of the way long enough to clear that point of retention. So so this is really cool, because for the ones that I've seen is when you depress the lever, the hood flips forward, and you pull the sidearm. When you're reholstering it, you have to manually go and grab that and then lock it back into place. And I'm super lazy, and so I wanted it to happen automatically, right? I just wanted to just holster it and forget about it. That's one less action I have to do, and that's what this this lever does. So it's under spring tension. So when you swipe it and draw the firearm, when you put it back in, you can see, if I could do it slow enough here, because it's a tactile lock into place. So if you push that forward, you can watch this top here, it'll lock down into place, right? So that it's dropping down into that ejection port, and it's locking that pistol into place, and I don't have to actually go like push it back down, right? So it has actually worked out really, really well. It allows me to maintain my laziness. And the way it fits is perfect. You know, I can get a really good draw stroke. I can reholster very, very easily. It covers my mag release very well, so it would be very, very hard to depress that and then lose my magazine while I'm out and about doing whatever. And so now I can mount, I can come up with different mounting systems for like mini bikes or go-karts or whatever I need it for. And this will retain this pistol, and I don't have to worry about it flying out on trails. If I hit a pothole or something like that, a bump in the road, then this will kind of retain it. So this is made out of PLA, and I actually should probably talk about this. So this is made out of PLA. This is not what I would actually use for like testing with the actual firearm. So it's just too weak. It just deforms really easily. So like if it's out in the heat or the cold or whatever, it becomes brittle, or you know, and it'll just basically warp. So this is not what I would be using as the final like holster that I actually mounted to anything. And that's where this comes in. This is another prototype, but this is made out of PETG-CF, which is carbon fiber reinforced PETG. And this is a lot tougher than PLA. It's reinforced with carbon fiber. And so this is actually what I think I'm going to print all of the final holsters in. I got a bunch more testing to do with it, but you can see that this one is a little bit different than that other one that doesn't have the mounting points on the side. It just has the lever, and that's what I was kind of testing the fitment basically with PETG-CF to see if it would if I needed to adjust the tolerances based on the filament. And I actually didn't. It works awesome. You know, it retains the firearm. The swiping is still there. It's a tiny bit tighter, and I think that's just because it can't get the accuracy with this filament that it can with PLA. But it takes a lot of force to try to remove this and overcome that lever. So the way the levers work, I don't know if you can, so you see those two, which way am I going? You can see at the top here, it has one on each side, these little tabs, and those drop down in front of this ejection port right here on either side, and that is the point of retention that locks that firearm into place. So when you're pulling back, it's pushing against those. That's kind of where I'm at with this. It's just another completely random thing that I'm doing, but it's something that I really think that for my use case, this is going to be pretty fantastic to have something that I can actually choose how I mount it, and it works for retaining that firearm on rough roads. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I did want to talk a little bit about safety, right? Safety is number one when you're operating firearms, and with something like this, there's a ton of considerations to take into account. Especially if you're putting something like a live firearm in a 3D printed holster. So lots of testing that I need to do with this. lots of things to consider safety-wise with this, using a firearm with a 3D printed holster. Safety is my #1 priority. I don't want to have a negligent discharge. I don't want to catch a random round. My suggestion to anybody that comes in contact, even if you don't really handle firearms, it's majorly beneficial to have some sort of safety training with these things. So just putting that out there. For me, like in my case, I actually don't roll. So I roll around with a full magazine, but I do not roll around with one in the chamber. And there are, you might do that. That's great. For me, I don't find that I need to. So there are so many things that are out of my control that could happen, where all it would take is this trigger to be depressed, and then you got a loose round headed somewhere, and hopefully someone doesn't catch it. So I don't like to roll around with one in the chamber, and the reason for that, there's a couple reasons. #1 is I like the additional layer of safety, knowing that there's no way that I could accidentally fire a round. There's too many steps to take before that happens to have a negligent discharge. Okay. #2, from what I have personally found, for me, to draw this and find the target, put sights on it, pull the trigger and get a first round impact, or draw this sidearm, chamber around, put sights on target and get a first round impact, there's not a whole lot of speed difference. In my personal experience, I think the benefits of not having one in the chamber outweigh the cons. That's just me. That's how I choose to operate this thing. So, everyone's different. But yeah, #1, safety first, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I'm not suggesting not to carry one in the chamber. If that works for you, that works for you. What I'm suggesting is just be safe when you do. And so I guess overall, if I were to carry one in the chamber, I wouldn't rely on a 3D printed holster. Since I have zero problem transporting this around in a 3D printed holster. I think it'll be tough enough, but to just kind of withstand, everyday use. But that remains to be seen. I have a lot of testing, and I'm actually pretty excited to test with this thing because it works so well. So I'm hoping that it actually works out, that it's useful, and that because if it is, then that's a game changer for me as far as trying to find holsters for all the things that I do, which is like riding mini bikes, go-karts, trail riding, e-bikes, hiking, things like that. I'll come up with a different mounting system depending on what I'm doing, but this is it's just one of those things that I randomly decided to try to do because being left-handed, we are so limited sometimes to what we have available to us unless it is custom built, custom ordered. So that's pretty much all I have today. I was just pretty excited about the iterations and how this is turning out. So that's all I've got for now. Stay tuned. And this guy, this is a PSA 556, and this is a dead air mask. And this thing is super fun